It's Saturday, January 16th, and you're watching The Great Lost Rewatch. Today we're talking about The Lie. So we pick up right after the Oceanic Six get rescued by Penelope Widmore, and it turns out that they had some kind of discussion about how they were going to make this lie work, and we find out right away that Hurley is not comfortable with the idea of lying, and he says people will believe us if we all, it's just someone backs me up, and no one wants to back him up, they all want to lie, and Hurley says, I'm going to remember this day. On the island, there's still the skipping record time-traveling issue, and they're at the camp, and there is no camp to speak of, so they're trying to go back to square one and rubbing sticks together, and Neil Frogurt, who we've had very limited exposure to, becomes really annoying really quickly. Don't worry, that won't be a problem for long.
We can't even get fire!
On top of that being really shocking, that is just hysterical. The camp is just flooded with these arrows, and we go running into the jungle, and we are dispersed, and we go with Sawyer and Juliet, who run into original others. The others want to know who Juliet and Sawyer are, and they try to tell him the truth, but obviously they don't believe him, and they're getting really frustrated, so they're about to cut off Juliet's arm, but then John Locke comes and saves the day with his magical knives. Hurley has left the not-so-safe house that Saeed took him to, and Saeed is still unconscious from the drugs, and he is just really panicking, and all of a sudden a police car shows up.
What the hell were you thinking?
Ana Lucia says, look, you've got to get your stuff together. You've got work to do. And she also has one more message.
Oh yeah, Libby says hi.
Hurley has to get new clothes, so he goes into the gas station. He loves Shih Tzus. And when Hurley's leaving the gas station, Kate pulls into the gas station, and that's when she gets a mysterious call from someone saying, yes, I will meet you. So Kate goes to a hotel, and she goes to the penthouse, and it turns out that the caller was Sun. Kate takes this opportunity to kind of unload on Sun, saying, somebody knows that we're lying. Sun says to Kate, you have to do whatever is necessary to protect Aaron and the rest of us, Kate. And Kate kind of looks at Sun saying, what kind of person do you think I am? And then we start to kind of have memory flashbacks of Kate kind of inadvertently being responsible for Jen still being on the boat. Kate feels incredibly guilty about this, but Sun lets her know that she doesn't blame her. Ben and Jack are still in their hotel. Jack is looking for something, and Ben says, oh, are you looking for your pills? I flushed them down a toilet. And Jack says, oh, good, I was about to do that myself. Yeah, right, I'm so sure. And Ben's gonna go take Locke to a safe location. That turns out to be a meat shop, and we meet Jill the butcher. Jack says, why is Locke's body so important? I mean, he's dead, right? And Ben just like, sure, whatever, and leaves. We then go to the Reyes' house, and Hugo's dad is watching Expose. Hurley shows up with Saeed, says, please don't tell anybody we're here, and then immediately after the cops show up and Hugo's dad lies for them. Hugo's mom shows up and freaks out going, what is this dead Arab man doing on my couch? I like Hugo's mom. She's always good for comedic relief. Hugo and his dad work up a plan to sneak Saeed out of the house and get him to medical help, i.e. Jack. Throughout this whole episode, the idea that Hurley has lied just keeps coming back to haunt him, and it's just really, you can tell, weighted him down over the 3 years that he's told this a massive lie. And Hugo's mother's like, I know you're lying to me, just tell me what happened. And in, I think, one of the greatest scenes, Hurley just tells the entire show. I mean, everything that's happened to him over the last 4 seasons, he blurts it out. Hugo's mom says, I believe you. I don't understand any of it, but I believe you. Hugo's dad gets Saeed to Jack, and Jack brings him back from his unconscious state. Hurley's making a Hot Pocket.
Hello, Hugo.
Ah!
I love it. That would have been awesome if it would have killed him. Death by Hot Pocket. Hurley says, Saeed told me not to trust you.
I'm not an easy person to trust.
Huge understatement. Ben just says, come with me, Hurley. I'll take care of everything.
Never, dude.
Hurley runs to the cops and turns himself in rather than going with Ben, which is the exact opposite of what Ana Lucia told him to do. She said the most important thing was to not get arrested, and here he is getting arrested. Interesting. The last scene of this episode, there's this hooded figure in this dark room writing on a chalkboard mathematics, scientific equations. Then she goes to an old-looking computer that we've seen in the Swan Station. There is this pendulum with this chalk going back and forth on a map. It turns out when this figure goes upstairs, we learn that they were in a church, and there is Ben. And Ben says, what happens if I can't succeed in the 70 hours that I've got? And the figure turns around, and we learn that it's Eloise Hawking, and she says, then God help us all. So that's where we're going to leave it today, with Eloise and God needing to help us all. Liz, you're talking about Jughead tomorrow. Great episode. I'll see you then.
We're gonna need to watch that again.